Paul, got to talk about the bounce from the other night. Are you feeling it amongst the lads?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you could feel it in the second half of the game. You felt it in the changing room. You felt it coming from the supporters. And no, I think that's really important. You know, the supporters, they know what they're seeing. They know what they're watching. And I think that's really important. We are in an entertainment industry. We have to give them what they want to see. So we've got to keep doing it though. We've got to keep working. We've got to keep trying to build, keep trying to be better, and hopefully the players will take a lot of belief from what happened in that second half against Wigan.
It wasn't even gung ho, was it? It was more controlled. It was more crisp. It was better than that. It was a sense of purpose to it all.
Yeah, it was. I thought we were controlled at Oxford as well, if I'm going to be honest. I thought we moved the ball with real control and patience at Oxford, but we just didn't trouble the goalkeeper. Second half, we were more aggressive about our running. We were more aggressive with our pressing. Um, Maybe the shape helped them a little bit. I don't really know. So maybe I have to take a bit of blame for the first half. But second half, they went about it in a real good way. I'm a big believer that football's a running game. You have to run. You've got to run really hard, as long as you possibly can. And I thought they did that on Tuesday, and that was a really pleasing thing. That everybody has to take confidence from that. When you when you step up and you get tested at another level, there's always that little bit of an imposter syndrome that you wonder whether or not we're worthy of this. Should we really be here? And I know that's something that's gone on for donkey's years. That's always in the back of people's minds. It's probably only recently that they started to put a title to it. And maybe there's been a little bit of that, just a lack of belief. But I thought there was real belief on Tuesday. And we have to use it as the catalyst to move forward. We know it's another level. We found that out. Maybe, I've got to be honest, it's maybe surprised me that what a difference it is in level, because I thought Wigan were as good a team as we've played against since I come back to this football club in however many months ago. And that's going to be the challenge for us. We have to get to the level that we did second half, and we have to maintain it for as long as we possibly can.
It's interesting you mentioned the shape and the way we set up for that game. It is about lessons learned every step of the way, isn't it?
Yeah, I think you have to. You know, you've got to. I go away and think about. Listen, I think about everything I've done when I'm driving home. I'm going through what my day's been and what could I have done better, what should I have done differently. And when I thought about the Oxford game and reflected on Oxford, Harrogate, Fleetwood, and thinking about how it's all gone, I just thought we had to try something different because we weren't being enough of a threat in the final third. I felt as though, especially when we're playing up against a lone striker, with whether it's two wide players or two tens behind him, whatever it might be, I felt as though we had too many players who weren't doing a job and weren't contributing. So I decided to change it, and I think the back four worked. I thought the midfield works. The shape of the front three didn't quite work first half. If I was to do it again, it might work in another one. But I think you've just got to try and learn as you're going along and just try and tinker things. I always have this thing in my mind that you have a framework that you're working from, and then you can make slight adjustments off that framework, and that's what it was on Tuesday night. It'll be different again on Saturday against Exeter, but hopefully we can find the right formula that gets us the right result.
How difficult is it, Paul, when you've got this pool of players who are all raring to go to choose from, to actually fine-tune it to 11 then 18?
It's difficult, yeah. I mean, the bench is sometimes probably the more difficult one, is because I'm having to leave players out of it altogether. And I know that they all want to be involved. I know that they've all worked hard enough to deserve to be involved. The nature of the bench is that we can only have 7 on it, and I try to pick the right mix to give us as many options as we can. I mean, you know, there's some situations where I've got this what if, and you know, we've got to try and put the right permutation together. On Tuesday night, I had it in my mind that Shawnee and Mox wouldn't be able to complete 90 minutes, so I had to have something that was going to be able to cover those areas. It may be different again this weekend, but we've just got to try and all stick together, and you know, hopefully they'll all want to stay. They'll all want to carry on doing the right things, because I would imagine between now and January we're going to need everybody.
You've just said it there, you said it on Tuesday. It's about running this game, particularly the higher you go. It's more about the energy and the running. They were all cream crackered on Tuesday night. Have they done the recovery that you wanted?
They have, yeah. They all look in good shape today. They're all saying the right things. So we have to hope. You never know. I mean, you can feel really good and be hopeless. You can feel great and you know, and it doesn't all work out. You've just got to keep your fingers crossed. Everybody came through the game unscathed in terms of injuries, so everybody's fit and available for the weekend. And we'll just make that decision between now and Saturday, which 11 and which 18 are going to be involved.
I think we mentioned these two on Tuesday night as well. Finn back, I'm expecting he'll be back. What about Dylan? Has he got over what he was going through?
He's over it, but he's not available for Saturday. It's too early on that one. But Finn will be back available for it. Everybody else, the lads who weren't involved in the 18, they trained. And I know they all want to be involved, but it's a case of just being patient and waiting for their chance.
Kai Nugent, he's one that I forgot about. How's he doing?
Yeah, he's training, back in full training. We're hoping he's going to play some part in the game next week, that we've got arranged a friendly fixture, and then possibly even the week after we'll play Wigan in the Central League Cup. Then we'll have a look at where he is in terms of fitness and whether or not it's right to send him out on loan. But he's come along nicely, he's got himself fit, got back into training, so we'll assess the next bit after that.
Exeter City, they've been through this process of getting to know you in terms of League One, so that they could be a team that's really looking to establish themselves now.
Oh, I think so. I think they're a good side. You know, they're a really good footballing side, got good individuals. It's another tough game, but we're going to say that every week in this league. They're all tough games. You know, you have to respect their opponent. What we have to do is make sure that we create the environment in there that it's not a pleasant place for them to come. When I say that, though, I mean by doing it right. We don't need to do anything silly in terms of, you know, picking up stupid yellow cards from the players. We don't need our staff to be getting involved in silly things. We certainly don't need our supporters getting involved in silly things. We just need to make it a difficult place because of the way we go about it and because of the atmosphere that the supporters create.
Done a fair bit of recruiting in the summer as well, haven't they? So it could be a team that we'll need to get to know along with the rest of the division.
Yeah, I mean, I think they look as if they've got to know each other fairly well so far, because they look as if they've got a real good fluid style about them. But I'm really trying to hope that we can focus on us and we can do what we know we're capable of. We've just started to show a little bit in that second half against Wigan. First half, I thought they worked incredibly hard. No problems with that side of it. It's the in-possession stuff I want us to be better with, because the higher you go up, the more valuable it is to keep that football, and we've got to stay in possession longer, keep the control, but possession with a purpose that we're going to get something at the end of it.
And hearing their boss talk after the defeat in midweek against Portsmouth, he's saying that they are a possession side and they let it go a bit, and that's why they got beat.
Yeah, well, you have to keep the ball at this level, simple as that. You know, we saw that with Fleetwood, with Oxford, with Wigan Athletic. If you keep giving the ball away, you're going to give yourself a tough time. And the goals, you know, the goal we conceded on Tuesday and two opportunities that we gave to Oxford was through us playing square and backward passes. And we've got to think positively. We've got to think forward. Think forward. If it's not on, then come back out and keep it. But the first thought has got to be think forward.
How many times do you say it is about us?
Yeah, it is about us. I'm a big believer. That it's about us, and we've got to keep it that way. We've got to understand what the opposition are going to bring to it, but make sure that we're right in doing what we do properly.
We've got fans trying to get through the window to come and support you already. They were so massive, weren't they, on Tuesday night? That 40 minutes was up there with the Bradford playoff atmosphere. That's what they can create.
Oh, they can create a brilliant atmosphere, and they have done. They've done that nearly every single game that I've been back here, and we need it even more. We need to keep them coming in. I hope that people who turned up on Tuesday were encouraged by what they saw and want to come back again this weekend. And let's get even more. It's a big thing. I understand, and I've said this before, I understand there's financial difficulties going on, but Carlisle United Football Club doing well doesn't help our city. It helps everybody. It makes everybody's life that little bit better, and we've got to do everything we possibly can to keep them coming in.
And even when we haven't got the waterworks packed out, it's now packed with flags. They're doing their bit, aren't they? They really are getting behind your rallying call.
Yeah, they are. And I thought, you know, at every side of the ground where we had our supporters made some noise. You know, just when I watched the goal back, and I didn't appreciate it at the time. I didn't get the noise on my watching back of the game on my laptop, but just seeing everybody jumping up and celebrating was fantastic. And that's what we want. That's what they come for. That's what we want to be involved in football for. So hopefully there's a lot more of those occasions.
I'm sure you're looking forward to August the 31st as much as I am, because I have to ask again, where are we at with the transfer window stuff?
Yeah, well, it's not quiet. We've got trying to get lots of things going on. Firstly, there's nothing for our players, so that rules that one out. The second side of it is we are still trying to get players in. There's probably not going to be anything before the weekend, but we've got things that we're discussing, things that we're trying to do, and I promise as soon as there's something to tell, then I will let you know.
Just one, it's more me just sort of being nosy really. What would you do with Gabe, boss? Because I know you want to get him out if you can, but with the Reading situation, are you comfortable enough that we'd go without that backup keeper because Jockle can't be involved?
No, I'm not comfortable with it. That's the honest truth. At the moment, there's nobody who's inquired for him, so there's nothing I need to concern myself with. I think Gabe's got a future ahead of him. We do need to find the match minutes for him. We'll assess whether or not he gets minutes over the next couple of weeks in the games we've got coming. It's not something I'm concerning myself with at this moment in time, but we'll wait and see what happens.
Pleasure.